A new game for the PlayStation 5 has been leaked and it is in development. It looks like it's going to be free to play, so stay tuned for this news and a whole lot more in today's video. Here we go, back at it yet again with the latest in gaming news. G'day guys, I'm Champ Chong, and if you end up enjoying today's video, make sure you elbow that like button real good. And now, let's jump into the gaming news because we have a whole lot to get to on today's show. And the first thing we are talking about is the PlayStation 5 because, well, we have news about a new PS5 game that has been leaked on LinkedIn. So the game that has been leaked is a game known as Knives Out. Now, this isn't the movie Knives Out that came out recently. No, it's a game that is made by Tencent. It's a Chinese game and it is huge. To be specific, it is a battle royale. It's actually available on PC right now, but they have been developing it for the PlayStation 4, but it turns out that they've also now been developing it for the PlayStation 5. Now, this is, as I mentioned, a free-to-play game. It's a battle royale, so a lot of people are going to jump on this game when the PlayStation 5 does launch. Now, we're not sure if it's going to come out on the PS4 next year before it does come out to the PlayStation 5, but what we do know now is that it looks like it is in full development for both the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, according to this LinkedIn post. Vincent Shi, who is a department art director and product manager on the game Knives Out, listed this as a project in full development for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in his description. But now, since people have found out, he's actually gone in and changed that. Now it states that it's just Sony PlayStation console because, well, pretty much everyone on the internet started to pick up on this news a few hours ago. So pretty much at this point in time, all we know about the PlayStation 5's games really that we've got Godfall coming, which was shown off a couple of weeks ago at the Game Awards, and then now we've got Knives Out. So this game right now is actually available to play, but you can't really play it on consoles at this point in time. So this is pretty cool that it is coming to the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and I'm showing you guys some gameplay just so you get an idea of what it's like at its current state, but it is on smartphones right now, so it is expected that this game is going to look a lot better than what it does right now on smartphones. One thing I should specify also, it is available currently on the Nintendo Switch in Japan, so you can play it on a Switch right now, and I think that's what a lot of people have been playing it on in the Western world, even though it is still Japan, but I guess on the Switch. But a lot of people do play it on the smartphones over in China. It is a very popular game. A lot of games over there on smartphones are huge. But overall, this is pretty awesome news right here that we are talking about a brand new PlayStation 5 game that will be out next year. I'm guessing this will be a launch title just because of the development time for this game and where they are along with the development, because they were already working on a PlayStation 4 version. My guess also is that it will end up being crossplay. Now, these are just my guesses at this point in time, but looking at the way the infrastructure is set up for these types of games, it is most likely going to be along those ways anyway. I kind of screwed that last sentence up, but you get what I mean. So yeah, we'll most likely see this game cross-play on both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. They most likely won't be any different from each other because, well, they really can't be when you are doing cross-play. Similar to something like Fortnite, we're going to see that, or Rocket League, where it is cross-play, cross-generational play, which is going to be actually pretty awesome to see. And yeah, I'm really excited to see this game because it is free to play, which means when it does launch, hopefully as one of the first games on PlayStation as a free to play game, it is going to allow a lot of people just to download a free game, give it a shot and see how they go, and maybe they'll enjoy it, and then we'll see where it goes from there on. Personally, as you guys know, I'm a pretty big fan of Battle Royale games. I've kind of stepped away from them in recent time because they did kind of get bland and boring after a little bit, but I may be stepping back into PUBG, and just because I saw some updates to the game with those new gliders and stuff. But to see a game like Knives Out, it's going to be pretty cool to see that, but that's all we pretty much know at this point in time. It is in development for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. It's already out on smartphones and the Nintendo Switch in Japan. And then we just have to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, we've only got Godfall, this, and probably some PlayStation exclusives to think about in the meantime. But in the next few months, we are probably going to find out more and more and more. So yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But that's not the only news we are talking about on today's show, because we have some other things to talk about. And it's actually the Xbox Series X. And this is official news from Phil Spencer that the Xbox Series X will stay as quiet as possible. This is directly from Phil Spencer. He said that. He said a central fan is to keep the Xbox cool and quiet. If you saw my video yesterday, if you haven't, make sure to go check it out. But if you saw my video yesterday, we talked about the fan and how it could actually be an issue for the system. Now, that could still be a pretty big issue, but here's what Phil Spencer has to talk about regarding the Xbox One X and its cooling system, is we went with the one central fan in the design. What this design does with the size of the fan that we built around is it lets us match how quiet the Xbox One X is with all that power inside the box. Phil Spencer also talked about and described how he's actually been using the Xbox One or Xbox Series X, I always screw up the names, but he said that he's been using it at home and that its acoustic profile helps it keep a low profile even for people who have seen it in action. So essentially he's just talking about how it's really, really quiet, and I'm actually excited to see, or I should say hear, how quiet this thing truly is. Personally, I'm a gamer that pretty much keeps my system out there in the open. I don't like to keep them really in like those TV entertainment units. I like to keep them beside my TV, mainly just so that way they don't overheat or anything like that. So when it comes down to the noise of a console and producing noise through the fan and whatnot, and just overall the console making noise, I need it to be quiet. So to hear this from Phil Spencer, that he is stating at this point in time he's been having it in his house and people haven't noticed the sound from it, that's a really good thing. Now, I do wear headphones, but sometimes I also just play on my TV, or if I'm playing here, I definitely have headphones. Now, that is going to change things. Obviously, you won't hear it as much, but one thing I will mention is I love my PS4 Pro, but at the same time, my PS4 Pro, if you guys let me know in the comments down below if this happens to you too, it is the world's loudest console. It sounds like my old Xbox 360, like day one edition, like back in the day, the white one with the hard drive on top. That thing got super loud because it was just not built well. I don't think for the time it was all right, but it had all those issues with the air and everything, and the airflow and everything, and just overheating. But this PlayStation 4 Pro that I've had for a couple of years always has issues and everything regarding it, and yeah, it's just a very, very loud console. But my Xbox One X, my Project Scorpio edition, that thing is pretty much dead silent, even when it's running games like Forza Horizon, like where it's running it at 4K and whatnot, and you're just blasting through towns like at like 170 Ks an hour or whatever. But like, this is really exciting news. Microsoft are really focusing on keeping this console as quiet as possible, like they did with the past generation. I should say this generation that we've got right now. So I'm excited to see how quiet it really is, because I do trust Phil Spencer at the end of the day. He's been really good ever since taking over Xbox. Like, I think it was Don Matrick who was the guy before him. Remember when they launched the Xbox One originally, when they had the big VCR unit, and it was just an atrocious abomination of a launch for a console when they did announcement, I should say an announcement for the console. So yeah, Phil Spencer, I trust you. So hopefully you can give us a demonstration or something of just showing us how loud or how quiet it really is. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, let's move on, because we've got one last news story to get to. Because if you guys don't know, The Witcher just came out on Netflix. The Witcher, it's based on a series of books, which became a series of video games. One, like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, won Game of the Year. And well, it's probably one of the coolest, best games out there. One of the best stories, some of the best characters and whatnot. Well, it looks like The Witcher 4 could be in development very soon. So The Witcher 4 is looking more realistic than ever, because while CD Projekt and the author of the original book series have actually signed a new agreement. So CD Projekt, who are the parent company of the developer of the Witcher series of video games, CD Projekt Red, announced on their official website that they have a brand new agreement, and they've come to a brand new agreement with Andrei Sapkowski. I can't say that name, to be honest, no offense. That's a very Sapkowski, I think. But they said they're further solidifying their relationship together. They went on, you can read this on screen if you'd like, but it's really cool that they are actually working together yet again to potentially bring us a fourth Witcher game in the Witcher series, which I'm really excited about. Now, the interesting thing here is that Sapkowski actually made it clear that he wasn't a big fan of the game series in like multiple interviews. It wasn't just like one interview. This was a few years ago. And then now he's actually working with them again, which is very interesting to me, because it just seems strange that he's like, maybe I just need some more money. So here you guys go. CD Projekt, take it over. And well, that's what he's doing. But then again, I'm pretty sure he's making a ton of cash from the new series on Netflix. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where this series does go in the next chapter, because I haven't read the books or anything. I've played the game, sure, but like I'm watching the series now. I've only watched one episode on Netflix. It's like 8 episodes maybe, I'm not sure, but they're all about an hour long each. I watched the first one last night. Please don't spoil it for me in the comments. Like I really don't want you guys to spoil it. I greatly appreciate it if you don't. But I'm enjoying from what I saw in that first episode. The CGI wasn't the greatest, but that action scene in the market, that fight, that was just amazing. And Henry Cavill is really, really good in the show. So I have to give them props on that casting. And I think just the choreography and everything in the show is pretty good so far. But it's definitely no early Game of Thrones or prime Game of Thrones. But it's still really good stuff. It's really cool to see a video game. Well, I know it was a book series originally, but a video game brought to life into a series. And it's one of the best video games out there, so they're doing a pretty good job with it. But The Witcher 4 could be a thing. I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think about that. But that pretty much does it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please smack the like button. Also, click that subscribe button with the notification bell on if you want to be notified when my latest videos are out. But that pretty much does it for today's video, because I'm sweating. It's really hot today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.